Hey everybody, in this video we are going to continue where we left off in the most recent video. We are finding, first we are drawing angles in standard position, both degrees and radians. We are finding positive coterminal angle, negative coterminal angle, and reference angles. So let's go. So this example, we are given the angle theta equals 200 degrees. 200 degrees is more than a straight angle, so I know it's going to be beyond that distance. So here, first thing always is draw your initial side. If I go counterclockwise, I'm going positive. That's 180. That means I have to go 20 further. These are all good things to keep track of while you're doing the problem because they're going to help you answer other things as we go. For instance, since I know I just went 20 degrees further, right, than the 180 degree mark, and I know my reference angle is how far away my angle terminates from my closest x-axis, then I can mark up that my reference angle is in fact 20 degrees, positive, acute, check, check, winning at that. Now for the reference angles, coterminal angles. When it comes to coterminal angles, we want to add or subtract a full revolution until we satisfy the given conditions. Here they want us to find a positive coterminal angle, so that really means you're doing 200 plus 360 degrees. And that will give me 560 degrees as a possible contender for a positive coterminal angle. I could add 360 degrees multiple times if I want to. As for a negative coterminal angle, you could take that 200 and subtract 360 degrees. That will get me negative 160 degrees. Coincidence that they both kind of end in a 60 the way it works out. If you think about negative 160, negative 180 would get me here and I'm 20 back. So that 20 reference angle all ties in, and that is the end of that first example. Let's do our next example. We have 5 pi over 8. Now, when you have radian measures, even whether it's a familiar denominator or not, you want to know that 8 pi over 8 or 9 pi over 9 or 10 pi over 10, whatever, is always going to be 180 degrees or pi. That is halfway across, right? So my initial side, as always, positive x-axis. 5 pi over 8. If I went like this all the way there, that's 8 pi over 8. Then I can conclude that that right there at the top, right in the middle, is 4 pi over 8. So if I do that, I'm at 4 pi over 8. Pi over 2 if I reduce my fraction, because we have a good brain and we eat our vegetables. This over here would be 8 pi over 8, 4 pi over 8, 6 pi over 8. So 5 pi over 8, give or take, somewhere in there. So here I go. That's my terminal side. I'm going to draw my directional arrow, and I'm going to put an arrow there. And that right there is my angle 5 pi over 8 in standard position. Now before I even keep going, I don't know, I find the reference angle to be very easy to do. If that was 5 pi over 8, my reference angle is the distance between my terminal side and the closest x-axis. 5 pi over 8 to 8 pi over 8, well, that is just simply 3 pi over 8. Oops, 8, sorry. Okay, done. Dunzeroni, good to go. Now, our positive negative coterminal angle, I am just going to either add or subtract an entire revolution. Now, if you wanted to count 5, 8, 16, and go around, I guess, go nuts. Or I could just add 2 pi. 2 pi is going to be the same as saying 16 pi over 8, because that's with my com denom. So I have 5 pi over 8 plus 16 pi over 8. 5 plus 16. 16 is 4 away from 20. 1 more. That means 21. 21 pi over 8. You should be adding that fast, if not faster. If you're slower than that, you really need to figure something out. Take time to get better at that, because that is, if you struggle at all and find any of this stuff in trigonometry difficult, it very likely has to do with the fact that your basic skills are weak and they're holding you back and they're not allowing you to develop the best possible understanding of the content. And it's not, I'm not trying to insult anybody. It's just the reality, right? Like, you have to master those basic skills in order to fully appreciate upper level content. And it's like, watching the last episode of a show and you haven't watched the first 20 episodes, like you can't appreciate it, right? You're gonna find it confusing, and it's just reality. Okay, it is what it is, and you have to decide what you're gonna do about it. Okay, just saying. Negative coterminal angle, exact same concept, except instead of adding, I'll subtract. How do I know if I add or subtract? Guys, it has to be positive or negative. That's how I know. Okay, there's more than one right answer. I explained in the last example or the last video with the 3 examples. You got to know. If you can't figure out if something's going to be positive or negative, you got to practice adding and subtracting. Okay, so 5 take away 16. 5 pi over 8 minus 16 pi over 8. 5 to 16 is going to be 11, right? Because 5 plus 10 is 15. So negative 11 pi over 8. And that's it. Done with that entire example. A little sloppy, but it is what it is. Next example, number 6. We have 9 pi over 4. Now, 4 is a more common denominator. We've dealt with that when it comes to the circle. Drawing in standard position, as always, I draw my initial side, positive x-axis. If I want to get full credit, I do all of the components. Then I'm going in the counterclockwise direction. If I'm here, I'm at 8 pi over 4. If you overlap, you're getting points off. Like, get it together. You don't overlap, no one can count. That's 8 pi over 4. Maybe you write it down for yourself. Maybe you keep track in your head. Now, 9 pi over 4, you should be able to be putting it straight in the middle, directly in the middle of the quadrant. You should understand that pi over 4 is 45 degrees. It's half of a quadrant. So to scale, am I perfect? No, maybe I'm a little high. Maybe I'm at 50 degrees instead of 45. But you should be approximately in the center of the quadrant if you're doing pi over 4 increments or if you're doing 45-degree increments, okay? This is something you should know if you're doing a midterm review at this point, okay? So 9 pi over 4 gets me right there. Again, the reference angle to me is something I like to do right away. That is going to be how far my terminal side is from the closest x-axis, and that is pi over 4. Must be positive, must be acute. For a positive coterminal angle, in my head, I immediately see it's pi over 4, right? That is pi over 4. If I subtract the 8 pi over 4, I get pi over 4. So if you need to do it mathematically because you don't know how to visualize things in your head, well, there you go. Just subtract it. I'm not showing that. You should be able to figure that out. Now for a negative coterminal angle, I'm going to pick up at pi over 4. I'm going to subtract off another loop, another 8 pi over 4. That gets me at negative 7 pi over 4. There you go. That's the end of the first 6 examples. So the last video has the other 3. Go to the playlist. I should have them going up in order on the playlist. Like the video should be showing up on the playlist. That the playlist should be at the screen right here, in order from the beginning of the review to the end as you go down the list. Okay. Next, we are going to be converting angle measures from degrees to radians and then from radians to degrees. So look for that video set next. I'll be doing 3 at a time there as well. Adios. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do something. Interact. Thanks. Bye.